Hi guys, it's Dave. Today we're going to talk about osteoporosis. It may not necessarily affect you now, but you may have a mom, a grandma, or men can actually get it too. So it's something to be aware of, especially as we age. One of the main things you need to look at as you get older is exercise, and not just cardio exercise. That's very important, but you need to keep doing some weight bearing exercise, especially as women, to help keep your bones strong, because that's one of the major things, especially as we are a sit down society, whether that's where you work or whether you do at home or that's what you do for fun as a Netflix or a Netflix marathon. We're not getting the weight bearing exercise that we once had to. So that's something to keep in mind, is doing the weight bearing exercise as much as you can and your body will tolerate. The other thing is getting enough calcium. For women below the age of 50, the recommendation is 1,000 milligrams a day. For women above the age of 50, it's 1,200 milligrams a day. And there are several calcium supplements out there. Some ladies say, oh, that tablet's too big and I just can't take it. Remember, there are chewable options and there are even chocolate options. And if worse comes to worse, you have to think about something even like Tums, which has calcium in it. But you're looking at 1,000 if you're under the age of 50 to 1,200 over the age of 50. And it's also important that you get the calcium with vitamin D, because vitamin D is what helps the bones to absorb the calcium. One thing to remember, I have a lot of patients that tell me, well, I drink a lot of milk or I eat a lot of ice cream. Hey, I do too. But when you're drinking a lot of milk or eating a lot of ice cream, getting a lot of dairy, that's great. But your body will actually only absorb 45% of the calcium that you're intaking through the diet. So you're probably still not getting the amount of calcium that you need for healthy bone growth. If you get osteoporosis, there are many treatments out there now. There is an annual injection called Reclass that you get once a year. You do have to have, it is prescription, you do have to make sure that you have coverage on it, and there are a few stipulations about your own health before you would get it. A little more common is one called Prolia, which is actually given every 6 months. It still is a little bit pricey, not as much, but it's something you want to check with your doctor on as far as insurance coverage, getting a prescription, and make sure you qualify. There are a lot of other, well, not a lot, but 3 other cheaper alternatives that you can do and take orally. The main one is Fosamax. The generic is alendronate. It comes as a once-a-day tablet, but it comes as an easier once-a-week tablet that you can take on the same day every day. So like if you're going to take it on a Friday, you take it on a Friday every day. You take it first thing in the morning, a half an hour before you eat or any other medications. And then it's very important to remember that once you take it, you cannot recline or lie back down. You have to stay sitting up or standing, because what will happen is it will get into your stomach and eat at your gut, and it's very toxic that way. But it is easy to remember if you can get on that once a week schedule, mark it on your calendar every Friday morning, or if you go to church every Sunday morning before church, I'm going to take my Fosamax and be on the way. The important thing to remember again with this one is you do need to take a calcium supplement with vitamin D. There's no diet exceptions. You've got to take one because that's what the drug is doing. It's called a biphosphonate, and it helps the bones to absorb the calcium. But if you don't have calcium with D, there's nothing to absorb. Another one in the same class is abandronate, which is a once monthly pill. That one a lot of people like because, hey, one and done. The problem is sometimes you forget that one and done. So you got to make sure that you have a schedule where that would fit in. A little more expensive than the Fosamax, but again, it's generic and is not bad. And then another one that's out there is also risandronate. which is generic for Actonel. That one, it comes as a once weekly or a once monthly tablet as well. But all three of those, you need to, like I said, take first thing in the morning, full glass of water, stay sitting upright or standing, no food or medications for at least a half an hour after you take the pill. And they all require the calcium with vitamin D supplementation. So make sure that you don't forget that when you get that prescription, because I know a lot of patients aren't told about that from their providers, and unfortunately sometimes by their pharmacists as well. Easiest thing to remember, if you're a lady, start hitting the weights today as much as you can. Get in that calcium, especially as you're getting older, after the age of 50. Don't forget to get that in. It's easier to take calcium than it is to take prescriptions, and it's healthier for you too.